Hey, what's up, guys? It is Sunday morning, and I just watched the Sullivan Barrera Paul Parker fight from HBO Latino. Um, I don't know what everybody else was saying about this fight, if anybody's talking about this fight, but Sullivan Barrera did not look that good to me. He was down on my scorecard before the stoppage in this fight. The HBO scorecard had him clean sweeping this fight. It's not the fight that I was seeing. All right. Um, this guy Paul Parker is so I think he is slightly younger than Barrera. Let's see, yeah, 32. Barrera's 35. Yes, Paul Parker is a tall guy. He's a taller guy with a longer reach, but inexperienced. He was 8-1 going into this fight. I think Paul Parker is another Derrick James situation as far as a fighter, which I will get into in a little while. But not an impressive performance by Barrera, in my opinion. I think this guy was giving him fits. If this guy was more experienced, it could have been a better fight. Paul Parker would have had more of a chance in this fight. Okay, my notes. Round 1, 10-9 Parker. Landed 2 flush headshots. Round 2, I scored 10-10. Even round, lots of flurries, missing and clinching. All right. Round 3, 10-9 Parker. Landed best shot of round. Lots of clinching. Parker inexperienced, giving up size advantages, diving inside. That was a big time downfall for him. Round 4, 10-9 Barrera. Hurt Parker twice. Parker took took a bad headbutt. All right, he took pretty much the whole 5 minutes to recover from that headbutt, and the crowd was booing. But hey, you see, look on the replay, man. That was a nasty headbutt that he went down on, man. The guy, I'm pretty sure I rocked the guy bad. All right, round 5, Parker dropped twice. Fight stopped when rocked bad a third time. Barrera was winning round 10-7, which had him up 48-46 at the stoppage. Before the fifth, I had Parker up 39-38. HBO scorecard had it a sweep for Barrera. That's the way I saw it, guys. Uh, you know, I thought Parker had some success in this fight. I did not think Sullivan Barrera looked that hot. Hell, if I was Joe DeGuardia, I would be trying to book Joe Smith against Sullivan Barrera. Let's see who else is at light heavyweight. This Vosnik guy that we just saw last weekend, the Ukrainian. Hell, might try to get him in there with Sullivan Barrera. Okay. Who else? Okay. I forget why Barrera got out of the fight with Bertabiev, but if he would have fought Bertabiev looking the way he looked tonight, man, he would have got knocked out. I believe he would have got knocked out. He would have lost that fight. Um, so let's see. But yeah, man, if I was some of these guys, man, I would be trying to fight. I would be looking at either John Pascal or I'd be looking at Sullivan Barrera, depending on who my guy was. Bertabia, Bosdick, and Joe Smith. You know, I would make those fights, I believe. All right. Now let me talk about Paul Pay-Per-View Parker. I kind of laughed and took a picture of that shit. I thought about using it for the thumbnail of this video, but I'm not because this guy looked good considering who he is and how long he's been in the sport. All right. Now his record is 8-2. He has 8 wins, 4 by KO, and he's been stopped twice. All right. Now let's see. He started his career in 2012. Let's see. And this guy, how frequent is this guy fighting? Let's see. He took almost a year off between 2013 and 2014. He was out almost a year. He was out almost a year between 2014 and 2015 for some reason. All right. And let's see. Well, he was 4 months shy of a year. Let's see, between 15 and 16, and almost a year in 2017. So this guy's not fighting as frequently as he should. Maybe because probably because he's not making a lot of money in boxing, and maybe he needs to maintain a regular job to pay his bills, and it's hard to fight, in between and train and all that. That could be a reason. But I tell you, man, if this guy would have stayed steady, let's see, he started taking breaks. Let's see, after his fight in November of 2013, that's when he started taking these long breaks. If this guy had stayed consistent, fighting, every other month, every few months, and this guy would have built himself up to about 20-0 or something like that, I think this guy would have been better off as he is, man. You know, it's too bad this guy did not have any. I'm assuming did not have any backers to support him and keeping his career going, let him learn and learn, because this guy is what is he, 6'5" or something, like 6'4", 6'5", I believe this guy is. It's not listed on BoxRec. They had it on HBO before the fight, but he was taller than Barrera, and this guy, with his size, man, I tell you, this and with him fighting at light heavyweight, man, you take a guy like this and bring him along at a nice slow pace, let him learn, get experience in the ring. Let's go down his box rate real quick, okay? He debuted against a guy who was 1-2, then a guy who was 2-3, then a debuting guy, then he fought a guy who was 4-1, 0-3, 4-0, 8-1, okay. And then after that, for some reason, that was his seventh fight. Then in his eighth fight, he went from fighting a 4-0 and an 8-1 guy to a guy who was 13-0. Matter of fact, it was Shabransky, the guy who Barrera knocked out before this. Yes. So he fought that guy and he got TKO'd in the third round. When Shabransky was 13-0. You know. This guy, was moved too fast. They was moving this guy, or maybe it was his decision. Because maybe he wanted to get bigger paydays and try to take that next step in the sport. But this guy, man, if this guy would have been developed, I would say up until at least 20-0. Let him fight these guys with losing records, man. Guys who may have experience, but who don't have winning records. Guys who he could beat. And just learn the craft off of, man. And this guy could have been developed better, instead of being thrown in with a Shabransky getting TKO'd. Then he won a split decision in the next fight against a 16-3 guy. And then last night he got stopped against Sullivan Barrera, who was 18-1. All right. Guys like this, have these guys fighting every other month, every few weeks, whatever. Let them build up, get experience in the ring, get training camps in, learn how to become a pro, and build the confidence, build the record up. Let them get to a good 20-0. If fight competition that's not really gonna be a threat, that he should not lose against. And that's the way I would build this guy instead of throwing him in, with a 13-0 guy to get stopped. I'm pretty sure Shabransky up to that point had probably stopped all of his opponents. Up to that point. Let me see him pull up his box rate real quick. Let's see. Shabransky, KO, TKO, unanimous decision. Let's see. Where is Paul Parker? Okay, Paul Parker. Yeah, he has stopped pretty much everybody. He only had like 2 decisions before the Paul Parker fight, and that was his 14th fight. So the guy was 13-0 and had probably like 11 KOs or something like that. Crazy, man. Why stick Paul Parker in with this guy? Yeah, build this guy up slow, man. Again, that's why I defend what the Eagles did with Kell Brook, man. All right. So, Paul Parker, he looked good in this fight to me. Barrera, I thought, did not look good. But Parker just kept leaving himself open to get countered. Diving in, giving up his height advantage. Going forward, diving in instead of fighting on the back foot, maintaining range, picking Barrera apart on the outside. He's going forward, diving in, they clinching and headbutting each other. He's giving up his size advantage. Just rookie amateur moves. If this guy had experience, he would not be doing this. He would have worked these kinks out, in the build up to a 20-0, as I said, if I was building this guy, the proper way. So, too bad for Parker. But, congrats to Barrera. He eventually got the opening that he needed. Parker was giving him the openings. And Barrera has power. He caught the guy. He hurt the guy. And then he eventually got him out of there. All right. And in the post-fight interview, Barrera was speaking Spanish. And he said, I don't know if he was talking to Parker because Parker had approached, and then shortly after he said he was saying thank you to Paul Parker and hugged him. Yeah, but he was talking Spanish, and then he was like, "What happened, bro?" And I was like, I got kind of thought, I was like, damn, that was kind of random. And then he talked Spanish some more, and then Paul Parker came over, and then he shook his hand and said, "Thank you, Monsieur Paul Parker," and all this, and it was kind of cool. But yeah, man, if I was, like I said, Joe Smith, Bosdick, or who else did I say? Um, let's see, go back to the rankings. Or well, but to be he got out of that fight for some reason. I don't know why he got out of that fight, but yeah, I might be interested in putting my guy in there with Sullivan Barrera, because he did not look that sharp to me, guys. All right, despite what HBO says or whatever whoever else says whatever they say, I did not think he looked that great. All right. And the other fight that was on this card, this guy Vaughn Alexander. I'm assuming he's related to Devin Alexander. He's a guy from St. Louis. The guy in his corner looked like Devin Alexander had. It wasn't Devin Alexander, but he had a St. Louis cap on like Alexander would wear. So I'm assuming that these guys probably all related. And he fought some guy who is Andres Calixto. It looked like a blown up welterweight or blown up super welterweight. Uh, you know, just a guy who did not look like a threat to him at all. They have him as the same height as Vaughn Alexander, but he looks smaller to me. He's like a smaller, blown up welterweight or super welterweight. He was not impressive. He was not a threat. I watched some of that fight, and then it got to the point where it was not a lot of activity. This Vaughn Alexander was kind of, a stationary guy, just throwing shots here and there, wanting to counter punch and look for openings. He was not high volume. So I fast forwarded through that fight, and it went a full however many rounds the fight was scheduled for, and the guy Vaughn Alexander won on a unanimous decision. So that's it, guys. If you saw this and have any thoughts on this card, let me know what you think. But it was okay for an HBO Latino card. I took a break, man. After watching boxing and UFC yesterday, I went ahead and went to sleep and decided to wake up and watch it this morning. So, if you guys saw it, let me know what you think. And I'll be checking in with you guys soon, man. Y'all have a good day.